So after that, during the 1950s, Dr. Weiner, Jaroslav Weiner, so he was the first person to commercialize it.
Okay.
So he started work on these entomopathogenic nematodes.
Okay.
He found that they were effective against different pests.
Okay.
So he started to devise a list of pests that were being affected.
Okay.
So during that time, there was a problem in America, mainly due to June beetles, as you call it as Japanese beetle or May-June beetles. They call it there. They occur during the May and June time, after the summer showers.
This is all happening in 1950s.
Yeah, during 1950s.
Okay.
So at that time, there were almost 3 to 4, even 5 species of nematodes that were isolated.
By Dr. Steiner.
By Dr. Steiner.
Okay.
And
now
then
we are talking about Dr. Wieser.
Yeah. Okay. So he happened to test those species on those May-June beetles larvae. So only the larval form of the pest gets affected by entomopathogenic nematode.
So what has been discovered by Dr. Steiner is being used
tested
by Dr. Weiner.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at that time he had significant improvements, but the end result was not so, like you can say, satisfying for him.
Okay.
He was not able to attain an end result that would make that organism a breakout organism, so that it can be used in agriculture also. So he had stopped his research during that time, 1950s, and those cultures which were maintained during those time, they got lost to time.
Okay.
So after 1950, there was only few cultures that were remaining. So in 1965, he had devised extensive manual, so that you can classify a different pest and classify different types of nematode based on their morphology and their feeding habits, and how they develop in a specific situation. So at roughly around 1965-1966, he isolated. In 1950, there was few isolates that were left. Only the major portions were lost to time, but there were few left. 1950, he isolated an organism which was named, if I'm not wrong, D136 or D166.
It is an EPN.
Yeah, it is an EPN.
By Dr. Weiner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then in 1965, he isolated a sample from Czechoslovakia.
Okay, Czechoslovakia.
Yeah. So that, you know the distance between Czechoslovakia and America.
Yes.
Though both are different continents.
Okay.
So obviously they should not have a same species of nematodes. But what happened was, both these species, which are isolated 15 years apart and in 2 different continents, happen to be the same.
Okay.
So that proves the point that entomopathogenic nematodes have been in the soil from time immemorial.
Okay.
So when soil was created on the surface of the earth, along with them, entomopathogenic nematodes were created.